children are suffering with not enough food or water in the middle of a war while not truly being able to understand the reason why due to a lack of education. Their parents can't afford school, and life is hard. A hard life in an unstable environment leads to doing labor in scorching heat in a dry desert. Somalia is suffering, but will it continue? My name is Ayan. I am a 12-year-old kid living in Somalia with my family. My siblings, Hawo, who is my younger sister, and Ambro, who is my older sister, live with me and my parents, as well as my big brother, Abshir. We live in Bakowaden, a small town in the Mudug region. We are very poor, like many people living in Somalia. My brother, Abshir, has gone to find another town to sell goods from our work. My family grows crops like maize and cowpeas. Every time my brother leaves, I'm worried if he will come back. Somalia is facing war, and it really does scare me because it feels like at any moment we could all die, my friends, family, and strangers together. The Somalian Civil War is an ongoing war that started in 1986. Though so many forces come to its aid, Somalia suffers with the impact of this war. Currently, there is a drought, and it makes things hard to achieve at the house. Me and my little sister help out with the general chores, like cleaning and laundry, but with not a lot of water than normal, we can't get much done at all. Our plants and crops are even a bit dried from lack of water. My friend says that plants need water and sunlight to live. My friend Sagal goes to a nearby school. I think that she's really lucky to be able to go. She has told me many things that she's learned there, like the Europeans once came into Africa and kind of took over for a while. But it was a long time ago, so we wouldn't remember it. In 1875, many European groups came into Somalia and claimed the land. These groups eventually settled on splitting Somalia up between these groups, British and Italian, coexisting in the country itself. I had asked her that if nobody remembers it, then how would we know? Sagal said it was because people would write it down, document it. I asked her if she could teach me how to write. Only about 40% of people in Somalia know how to read and write. My father liked to read and write. I remember from when I was younger, but I haven't seen him pick up anything for a long time. Abshir told me it was because he had been very busy working. Abshir whether he knew anything about the war or not, because I remember my friend Sagal talking about it. He said that it had been going on for a very long time. Amber and my mother last night made a dish called sambusa. It's basically just a little pocket of meat and veggies. It's very simple but very delicious and one of my favorite meals. So I do remember one night I was eating soup outside of the house with my sister Hawo, and we were watching the sunset. Around 50% of the population of Somalia has access to clean water and or a small supply of water available. The soup was from the market Abshir had taken me to that day. He was talking about how the prices were not fair in that market. The prices were high, and that meant we couldn't get much, if anything at all. He was mad about the government, and if they weren't so corrupt, then none of this would happen. I think he was thinking out loud. The other day, Hao and I went out to the well to gather a few cups of water to boil back at home. To me, the shallow well looks really dark and wonderful. I have tasted it before, and it tastes chalky and gross. Ambro says that it's because there's dirt in the water. I don't know how I feel about drinking dirt. It makes me wonder what it would look like without any dirt. I know that people want this water so bad in some places despite the dirtiness of it. The thievery and crime people might be willing to do to be able to get this water. In my eyes, it's just a desperate way to try to survive. Other people might not see it like that, though. My father told me that people will kill other people on purpose. The thought of it makes me sick. But sometimes I hear gunshots outside my window at night. The average death rate of Somalia is 11 deaths per 1,000 people. These deaths are mainly caused due to famine, disease, and war. Sagal tells me how safe her school is, though I have heard stories of schools being forced to close down due to violence. I wish I could still go despite these circumstances. My mother says I can't go to school because we don't have enough money to make me go. My brother says that the government is horrible and that I should do my best to stay out of trouble and avoid getting hurt. And part of that might mean not going to school. He says that the government can't find itself and that it's for the best. I'm not quite sure what that means. I asked Sagal once about it, and she said that the government has power that it keeps fighting itself for. She says that the government is one of the reasons that started the war. I think that if the government was not this bad, none of the problems that are happening in my country would happen. This loss of education, water, and other resources leaves Somalia stunned with an overwhelming sense of insecurity and fear for the lives of the people inside, while growing tensions around it continue to spread. Somalia is suffering with a corrupt government and a growing population of around 18 million. Let's just hope that Somalia and its inhabitants can survive this crisis of war, conflict, and famine.